Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to today's class, you guys. Thank you for coming on in. Today's lesson is all about the single crochet. So to begin with, I want you to go ahead and create a chain just like this, the width of 6 inches. And when you're making your slip knot, I want you to leave a tail, okay, that is maybe 3 to 4 inches in length. So I want you to leave a nice long tail because we're going to use our tail to practice weaving in the ends when it gets to that lesson. So I want you to go ahead and make your slip knot, and you're going to make a chain, like I said, that is 6 inches in length. But for this class, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to crochet a couple of chains to make my foundation chain. Okay. Meanwhile, I want you to make your chain the length of 6 inches. And perfect. You should be able to make a perfect chain because that was last lesson's homework, was for you to go ahead and make a chain 6 inches long that was perfectly even, making sure that your stitches were all coming out the same height and the same width. So when it comes to crocheting, your crochet is actually, you can start it different ways. You can start crocheting into the top of your chain, you can start crocheting into the bottom of your chain, or you can start crocheting into the back bumps of the of your chain. Okay, for this lesson though, we are going to use the top row of our chain to go ahead and make our single crochets. So when you're making your single crochets, and I want you to go ahead and you can start with your chain that you've measured out, that's 6 inches long, because this is where you are now going to go ahead and build one upon the other. So your single crochet is always going to start with a chain 1. The chain 1 is the equivalent height of a single crochet, so that when you are crocheting back and forth, your edge is going to have that height to it, and it's going to be, all of your single crochets are going to be this same height. This is going to help to create an even edge. Okay, so you will always start with a chain 1, and the next step is that you will always start with inserting your hook. So you're always going to insert your hook first into your chain. We're working with our foundation chain. Yeah, even after we make our first stitch, then we start building up our stitches. You're always going to chain 1 and then insert into the stitch. Now, like I said, we're working into our foundation chain. You're going to insert, you're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through your chain. You now have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through both loops of the hook. And this is your first single crochet. Congratulations. You've just made your very first single crochet. Again, we are going to insert, okay, and it's fine if you use both hands to put your hook through your chain. You're going to yarn over, pull through your chain. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Now, I'm going to say it the way you are going to hear the instructions of how to make a single crochet. The instructions of how to make a single crochet is insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. I'll say again. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, you may hear other crocheters saying the same thing. You may hear other crocheters saying, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through your loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Okay? Same thing. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, 2. And you've made a couple of single crochet stitches already. So now I want you to go ahead and make your single crochets until you get all the way to the end of your row. And remember, you're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook into the chain or the stitch, yarn over, pull through your chain or stitch, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay? Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm at the very last chain that I made. I'm going to insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and I'm going to pull through the last 2. And here I have come to the end of your row. When you've come to the end of your row of your single crochet, I want you to turn your work. Turning your work, I want you to then pick up your fabric. This is now the fabric that you're creating with your crochet stitches. And I want you to insert your hook into your loop. This is your working yarn. This never counts as a stitch, or it never counts as a chain or anything. This is just a loop of working yarn. Okay, you're going to now make 1 chain, because we always start our single crochet with a chain 1. All right, and then into the next stitch, not in this stitch that you see right here, not into this stitch right here. This is a stitch. Okay, this is 1 stitch, this is the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. Okay, now when you are joining this class, that you are doing your stitches with Crochet 101, the basics of crochet, the first chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, I always refer to this as the first stitch, because that's the way that I crochet, that's the way that I operate. Other people may refer to this as just their height chain. So they will tell you, okay, place your single crochet into the stitch above the chain 1. So you know that the stitch, the stitch below the chain 1, okay, you know that the stitch below the chain 1 is going to be right in here. All right, but I'm going to tell you chain 1, okay, and place a single crochet into the next stitch. So you're going to place a single crochet right here into the next stitch. You're going to insert, yarn over, and you're going to pull through. Okay, you are going to pull through and you're going to insert, I should say, and pull through both V's of your chain. Okay, both V's of your chain. All right, or both legs of your stitch. Okay, you're going to hear that. Or both loops of your stitch. Okay, those are terminology that you're going to hear. You're going to hear both legs of your V. You're going to hear both loops of your V, both legs of your stitch, both legs of your V. Okay, you're going to hear all of that. You're not going to just go through one loop. Okay, you're not going to just go through the front loop. You're not going to go through the back loop, but you're going to go through both loops. Okay, and you're going to insert, yarn over, pull through both V's, both legs of your stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. All right, so from here on out, it's the same thing. You're going to insert, you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to insert, you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, inserting into the front loop or inserting into the back loop only, those are techniques that are used to create a different look to your fabric. Okay, so when you're crocheting and you're crocheting row after row after row, you insert your hook into the front and the back loops, into both V's or both legs, however you want to go ahead and say it. You're going to pull through, you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're going to do that all the way until you get to the end of the row. All right, and this is how you make your single crochet stitch. For your single crochet stitch, you're going to make, like I said, a practice swatch, right? Or practice square, whatever name you want to give it. That's going to be 6 inches wide and 6 inches tall. Okay, that is what you're going to do. You're going to make it 6 inches wide and 6 inches tall. When you get to your last stitch, that is right here, the same thing. You're going to go ahead and you're going to yarn, you're going to insert, okay? Insert your hook into the both legs of your stitch, yarn over, you're going to pull it through, all right? You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through 2. And that's how you're going to end the end of the row. All right, so that is crochet 101, the single crochet stitch. All right, so your assignment is going to be to finish crocheting up until your square is 6 inches high of single crochets. Now, one thing that I want to come out and show you is that when this is just a simple swatch that I made, okay? So you're going to go ahead and crochet back and forth, catching that first stitch, catching that last stitch, and you're going to just go back and forth and pay attention like we did with our chain. I want you to pay attention to your stitch, making sure that your hook holding hand and that your yarn holding hand is nice and relaxed and even, so that your stitches all come out the same height and the same width, because working your tension while you're learning how to make your stitches is going to be something important for you to actually have then have your gauge, you know, already set in. All right, so this is the fabric, and this is how it looks after you've made a few rows of single crochets. Okay, if you were to just crochet back and forth using the back loop or the front loop only, then your fabric will have what is called a ribbed effect. Okay, you can see that it's kind of has that little zigzag, okay, like this. And this is why I said you don't want to go ahead and just crochet in the front or the back loop only, because you only do that to create a textured fabric. And this ribbed fabric, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it on the edges of the sweater, right? You've seen it even at the edges of maybe a sweater at the sleeve, right? Or you've probably seen it as a turtleneck or a crew neck of a sweater. And this is how you get that type of effect. Okay, also, when you are crocheting with the back loop only, this is the foundation chain that is created using the back loop only. And using the back loop only, what you will see is that you will have V stitches at your top, all right, that you will continue to go ahead and stack upon. And then you have V stitches at the bottom. And that's why I said that you're not going to use the back bumps unless you're going to be making something specific where the person who has made that item is going to tell you using the back bumps of your chain. Using the back bumps of your chain is only used once, and that is when you are starting your chain to crochet. Now, a lot of people like to use the back bump of their chain when they are starting a project, because they say that there's a nice edge to it, number one. Number two, this edge, you can add a border to it, because you know, it gives you the option to keep on crocheting on this side. And number three, some people just like to always start off their foundation chain by using the back bump. Okay, but like I said, after you use that back bump for your foundation chain, your stitches now will all be done excuse me, the same way. You will come up and you will go ahead and chain. You will make your chain one, all right, and then you will go ahead and you will insert your hook into the both legs, right, and you will continue to make your single crochets back and forth. So I just wanted to show you that as an example. So for today, you learned the single crochet stitch. You learned the different type of effect that you will get from crocheting the back loop, the front loop, the back bumps, and from crocheting and going into the both loops of your stitch. All right, you also learned about the height chain and the first stitch and how they're used back and forth. So today's assignment is for you to continue making your swatch that has a tail of 3 to 4 inches, and it is 6 inches long and 6 inches height. And after that, I shall see you in the next lesson. Bye.